Hey everyone, it's Xiao here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into an exciting comparison between Intel's Battlemage series GPUs and the newly launched Nvidia RTX 50 series GPUs. We'll focus on the puzzling AI TOPS numbers highlighted in Nvidia's presentation of the RTX 50 series and try to uncover what's really happening under the hood. First, what is TOPS, and how is it different from TFLOPS? TOPS stands for tera operations per second. It typically refers to the number of operations a neural processing unit, aka NPU, can execute, primarily focusing on lower bit integer operations, such as int8 or int4. This performance metric is commonly associated with AI workloads and PC performance specifications. Most companies adhere to the convention of using int8 for measuring TOPS. TFLOPS, on the other hand, stands for tera floating point operations per second. It measures the performance of floating point operations specifically. In summary, TOPS and TFLOPS are fundamentally different metrics. TOPS usually focuses on integer operations, while TFLOPS measures floating point operations. However, it seems that Nvidia uses FP4 for their TOPS calculations, which we will discuss later. Now, let's dive into Nvidia's numbers. Nvidia often reports their performance figures using the Sparse feature. In this context, Sparse refers to algorithms optimized for accelerating sparse matrix computations, which can make it seem as though the hardware can handle more data. For instance, if we look at the spec sheet for the RTX 4090, it boasts an impressive 1321.2 TFLOPS of FP8 performance. However, this figure is based on the assumption of leveraging sparse matrix acceleration. The dense value, in contrast, is only half of that. It's also worth noting that the lowest floating point precision the RTX 4090 supports is FP8. Therefore, the maximum theoretical FP8 throughput, under ideal sparse conditions, is 1321.2 TFLOPS. When reviewing news reports about the RTX 50 series GPUs, the RTX 5070, in particular, is claimed to have 988 TOPS. My understanding is that this figure is based on FP4. FP4 is a numerical format that uses 4-bit binary numbers to represent floating point values. This explains why Nvidia suggests the RTX 5070 could rival the RTX 4090 in certain scenarios. The floating point performance, FP4 versus FP8, is comparable in the same range, primarily due to the RTX 50 series support for FP4 operations. To convert Nvidia's numbers into a more standard FP16 dense measurement, first, divide the TOPS value by 2 to account for the transition from sparse to dense performance measurements. Then, divide by 4 to convert from FP4 dense to FP16 dense. After performing these calculations, we arrive at approximately 123.5 FP16 dense for the RTX 5070. This places the RTX 5070 very close to the Intel Arc B580, which is rated at 117 FP16 dense, as noted in Tom's hardware article. The value of 117 is approximately 5% less than 123.5. Since the B580 has ample headroom for overclocking, this difference can be easily compensated for. In fact, I confirmed this with Raja Koduri on Twitter, who was overseeing GPU development at Intel. Here is my question and his response. Why does FP16 matter? FP16 is essential for many training tasks in machine learning frameworks like PyTorch, which supports mixed precision training. By using FP16, you can achieve a significant boost in speed while maintaining acceptable levels of accuracy. According to this page, PyTorch supports mixed precision training for both CUDA for Nvidia GPUs and XPU for Intel GPUs. After evaluating FP16 calculations, how would the Intel Arc B580 GPU perform if we express its performance in TOPS versus Nvidia RTX 5070? Since Nvidia bases its TOPS calculations on FP4 for the RTX 50 series, we will adopt the lowest precision supported by the tensor compute units in the Intel Arc B580 GPU for comparison. The following calculations are based on official information provided by Intel, specifically from Architecture All Access, Live at Lunar Lake ITT, New Xe2 graphics architecture and the Intel Arc B series launch briefing. We know that the number of operations per second can be estimated by multiplying the number of tensor compute units throughput per tensor compute unit, and clock speed. To simplify the calculations, we treat each Xe2 core as a single tensor compute unit. As shown here, each Xe2 core contains 8 Xe vector engines, aka XVE. And the throughput of XMX INT4 or INT2 from the 8 XVEs is 8,192 operations per clock cycle. The Intel Arc B580 GPU has 20 Xe2 cores, and its default clock speed is 2,670 MHz. Additionally, as shown here, the overclocking headroom for the B580 is quite substantial. Let us calculate the TOPS at INT4. At the default clock speed, we multiply 20, the number of Xe2 cores, by 8,192, the number of operations per clock per core, by 2,670 MHz of clock speed and divide by 1 million. This gives us 437.45 TOPS INT4 dense. When overclocked by 13% over the default clock speed, the performance increases to 494 TOPS INT4 dense. For comparison, the RTX 5070 could achieve 988 TOPS FP4 sparse. We divide 988 by 2 to get 494 TOPS FP4 dense. Therefore, both GPUs deliver similar TOPS performance for 4-bit dense computations, while disregarding the differences between INT4 and FP4. Lastly, regarding sparse matrix acceleration, there is no indication of support in Intel's Battlemage documentation. However, I found the following paper that discusses the implementation of sparse matrix acceleration for Intel data center GPUs, performance optimization of deep learning sparse matrix kernels on Intel Max series GPU. At this stage, it is unclear whether sparse matrix acceleration is supported for Intel Battlemage GPUs. Additionally, the practical benefits of sparse matrix acceleration for various workloads on Nvidia GPUs are uncertain. Based on the following discussion, the advantages do not appear to be significant. For instance, one of the replies states, the assumption of double the performance gain due to structured sparsity is incorrect. We don't have numbers for the 3090, but on the A100, the performance gain for ResNext 10132X8D should be in the range of 1% to 8% end-to-end in INT8. Hence, if we ignore sparse acceleration and the differences between FP4 and INT4, the FP4 dense TOPS for the Nvidia RTX 5070 and the INT4 dense TOPS for the Intel Arc B580 are comparable. In practical terms, high TOPS values, particularly at lower precisions like INT4 or FP4, are useful for applications where exact numerical precision is not critical, such as specific inference tasks. Tools like the Intel Neural Compressor with auto-round enable the compression of models trained at higher precisions, such as FP32 and FP16 down to INT4 or even INT2. Below is an example of using the Intel Neural Compressor to compress a large language model to INT4, making it suitable for execution on the Intel Arc B580 GPU. After completing the analysis, considering the advertised prices of these two cards, I believe the Intel Arc B580 GPU is a compelling option for machine learning and AI tasks. If you require overclocking, the AsRock Intel Arc B580 Steel Legend 12GB OC could be a good GPU to consider. And, of course, there is the Intel Arc B770 GPU. You can perform the same calculations we did here to estimate the TOPS performance for the B770. Personally, I am waiting for the Intel Arc B580 24GB variant as memory capacity is more important for me than raw performance. That's about it. Let's wrap things up. The Intel Arc B580 is a strong contender in the GPU market for machine learning workloads. It performs nearly on par with the Nvidia RTX 5070 in FP16 performance, making it an excellent option for traditional machine learning tasks that require higher precision. This positions it as a reliable and cost-effective alternative for those looking to balance performance and affordability. What sets the Arc B580 apart is its potential in low-precision workloads, such as LLM inferencing using INT4. These tasks benefit from the GPU's ability to deliver high TOPS at lower precisions, making it a great choice for real-world applications where exact numerical precision is not always necessary. Overall, the Intel Arc B580 stands out as a cost-effective and capable option for machine learning and AI tasks, offering a balance between performance, versatility, and price. Thank you for watching. If you found this presentation helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Your support means a lot, and I look forward to seeing you next time.